There were hurricane force winds of mis and disinformation lies.
Gavin Newsom cut $100 million of fire prevention, oh no, just before deadly wildfires. Now, this has become hotly political, forgive the pun. Everything is political now, isn't it? What's not political these days? Like this has happened for a while. Like, you know, sport is political. Everything has been politicized. You can sort of tell what people believe in. Embattled California Governor Gavin Newsom slashed funding earmarked for fighting wildfires by more than $100 million this fiscal year, a review of the state's budget found. The lefty polls fiasco 2025 budget signed in June eliminated the lefty, politicians, that's a slang. I sort of thought that was like an official piece of language. Eliminated $101 million from 7 wildfire and forest resilience programs, according to Newsweek. This included cutting $5 million from CAL FIRE's now $129 million in a budget for fuel reduction teams, including funds used by the state's National Guard for vegetation management work, aimed at reducing threats of fires igniting and spreading. You would have seen Joe Rogan a while ago saying these fires are going to be bad in California, and people should have been preparing for them. Let me know in the comments and chat if you've seen that. You might have even seen Trump talking about the same thing. When did fire become a right-wing issue? And is this being seen as an indication that California's general political temperature is somehow to blame, I suppose, because of the DEI component when it comes to the sort of heads of the fire service and I suppose the way that they prioritize expenditure? Other cuts include $28 million from multiple state conservancies. Wow, look, just a whole bunch of stuff that's connected to fires. At least 150,000 residents have been forced to evacuate their homes in Southern Cal as wildfires continue to rage across the Pacific Palisades and surrounding areas. Now, I know a lot of people regard this as a potential arson attack. Some people see this as some kind of spiritual just desserts, but the rain falls upon the good and unjust alike, doesn't it? And these fires will affect everybody. They will affect animals. They'll affect all sorts of people. How devastating and dreadful for people to lose their homes. This is from Meg and Maggie May in the locals chat. I used to live in the Hollywood Hills. So much deadfall, and it must be cleared, or this is what we get. So on one level, it's a highly practical matter. But are you like me these days, that you look at all stories on a variety of levels? You look at it practically, what could have been done practically, politically, economically, bureaucratically, and what is this telling us? What is this telling us about the way the world is and the way that the world is run? Let's have a look at Gavin Newsom asking Joe Biden to focus on combating misinformation. What we have to, oh no, there's everywhere. There's misinformation about fires, but also fires. Yeah, but more importantly, misinformation about fires, but also fires. Yeah, but more importantly, misinformation about fires.
I ask you, we've got to deal with this misinformation. There were hurricane force winds of mis and disinformation lies. People want to divide this country.
Did you see Mel Gibson say he should spend less money on hair gel? Like Mel Gibson, he nailed that.
And we're going to have to address that as well. And it breaks my heart as people are suffering and struggling.
Can't get out of the old mindset of exploiting crisis in order to legitimize censorship. They can't get out of that mindset. Even when the gig is up and the game is over, they're still trying to do that thing. Okay, there's a crisis. How do we exploit that crisis? We've got to exploit it somehow. Well, we could say that people are doing misinformation about the fire and that's making it much worse. And in fact, let's focus on that rather than the practical problem of the fire itself and the safety measures that are required in order to prevent fires. Or we could say that the fire is racist.
That we're up against those hurricane forces as well. And that's just a point of personal privilege that I share that with you because it infects real people.
Oh, really? The misinformation affects real people. Do the fires affect real people?
That are out there, people I meet every single day, people the mayor's been meeting with, and they're having conversations that are not the typical conversations you'd have at this time. And you wonder where this stuff comes from. And it's very damaging as well. But we're here to get the job done.
We gotta get rid of this misinformation. My whole house is just burned down by misinformation. No, that was fires. That were fires that could have been prevented with more responsible and judicious government. Gavin Newsom and California Democrats reached $50 million deal to Trump-proof the state. Okay, everybody, we've got to Trump-proof California. What about these fires? We'll get to that. After we've Trump-proofed it, we have to misinformation-proof it, and then we have to make sure that everyone in the fire service is either a different color or different sexual identity, not acknowledging that all God's children are perfect and beloved. Whoever you are, welcome to the family. You are beloved. Forget that. We need to make sure that we Trump-proof, then misinformation-proof, then according to human law, DEI, and organize the fire service. What about the fires? What about the actual burning fires? Well, to understand the burning fires, why not turn to X-Files, no, it sounds better this way, Twitter Files journalist Michael Shellenberger, who was one of the journalists that Musk invited into Twitter when he acquired it, and exposed the degree to which various government agencies and deep state agencies were controlling social media. Let's see what Shellenberger has got to say, on the California fires. Over the next few weeks, you're going to hear Governor Gavin Newsom, Mayor Karen Bass, and the Democratic Party tell you that there's nothing that could have been done to prevent the fires from destroying Los Angeles. Those will be lies. They could have prevented them. Governor Newsom cut the funding for preventing forest fires and failed to build sufficient water resources for fighting fires. Mayor Karen Bass cut $17.5 million of funding from the LA Fire Department, then went to Ghana, even though she knew of the risk of catastrophic fire. It's true that California in general, and Los Angeles in particular, are fiery places. It's also true that the Santa Ana winds made the fires worse. But Newsom and Bass have known about those hazards for all of their careers and failed to deal with them. Their rank incompetence and lack of leadership are shocking and scandalous. It's hard to overstate how badly they screwed up water management. LA firefighters haven't had the water they needed. Newsom hasn't built the new water reservoirs that Los Angeles needed. And Newsom even cut the budget for water infrastructure projects last year. Why is that? Part of the reason is they were focused on other things, making the fire department more racially diverse and climate change. And the reason they were focused on those things is because those are what the radical left that controls the Democratic Party wanted them to focus on. Year after year, they do nothing while focusing on things like trans and Trump and climate and ignoring the things that really matter to the people of California. Very good sentence there. Michael Shellenberger is coming up on this show soon, and we'll be talking about this story and a variety of others in more depth. The Democrats in California aren't like Democrats in other states. They are radicals. I would know since when I was a young radical, I moved to California for that reason. As many of us get older, we become more moderate, we become more practical, we understand firefighters and police officers are necessary. We're reminded of the importance of things like safe streets and hard work and good schools. But more than that, I saw the consequences, says Shellenberger, of radical progressive policies on the environment, crime, education, water, and everything. Violent criminals in particular are devouring LA, Oakland, and the rest of California. And so, over the next few weeks, when you hear Governor Gavin Newsom, Mayor Karen Bass, and the Democratic Party tell you that there's nothing they could have done to prevent the fires from destroying LA, don't believe them. It's time for California to grow up and move beyond the juvenile leftism that's destroyed the state and destroyed LA. We can't trust our leaders to run anything. It's not just incompetence, it's that they really don't care. And it's time for Californians to demand new leaders, ones who aren't beholden to the radicals who control the Democratic Party. California can't keep going like this. It's time for real change. Let me know what you think about that in the comments and chat. Seems like a pretty practical appraisal of the situation from me. The war against free speech is in full swing. We are the vanguard, bravely fighting back. Rumble's the home of this channel, Stay Free, and a leader in defending the fundamental human right of free speech. They've joined X to sue a cartel of advertisers and ad agencies who conspire to block ad revenue from going to the platforms. Recently, they've launched Rumble Premium. This, I think, is going to be a game changer for all of us. It's an ad-free viewing experience with great perks for viewers and creators. Rumble Premium will give you the ability to dive into your favorite content on your mobile or desktop or smart TV and savor every uninterrupted second of my content. Why don't you upgrade to Rumble Premium today? Support my free speech and the free speech of other content creators on this platform. Please go to Rumble now, rumble.com/premium. And if you use the code BRAND, you'll save $10 and Rumble will be aware that our stream is creating great converts. So that's rumble.com/premium and do use the code BRAND to save $10. Anyway, there's a link there at the bottom of the screen now. We're posting it in the chat. Join up. Hey, thanks for watching. If you want to see more uncensored content where free speech can flourish, join our live stream. Click the link right here to watch the next video if you want to, or become a member of a growing movement. Download the Rumble app and you'll be informed every time we make a new piece of content. Stay free.